The War of 1812 is one of the forgotten wars of the United States. The war lasted over 2 years and ended in stalemate. It did, however, confirm once and for all American independence. A significant battle of the War of 1812 took place locally. The most important thing in the Dundalk Patapsco Neck history is the Battle of North Point. And this evening, we celebrate the grand opening of our War of 1812 Battle of North Point exhibition. Good evening, and welcome to the Dundalk Patapsco Neck Historical Society Museum, where we'll begin our program with the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please. You may salute either of the two flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we're going to call Taylor Smith-Clark, who will present our national anthem. Taylor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, o'er the home of the brave?
All right.
What do you think? Yes, that sounds more like it. She was incredible, and thank you very much, Taylor Smith-Clark, for singing the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem. And now, we will acknowledge our distinguished guests. First, we'd like to recognize Jay Doyle from the Baltimore County Planning Department. Where are you, Jay? Raise your hand. There he is, right there, not too far from the tent. Also, we'd like to recognize Fran Taylor, Chairman of the Baltimore County War of 1812 Bicentennial Advisory Committee. Where is Fran Taylor? And there he is, way in the back, with his hand up. Let's hear it. Good to have you with us. We also have representation from the following reenactor units. We have, just to my right, the Asquith Sharpshooters. There they are. Also joining us this evening, the 5th Maryland Mechanical Volunteers. And they are right next to the Asquith group. There they are. Glad to have you with us. Inside the museum, you will discover our Battle of North Point exhibit, which will remain on display throughout the summer and into the fall. The exhibit will be temporarily removed during the winter holiday period, but will be reassembled shortly thereafter, where it will become the highlight of the museum through 2014. You will view 2 paintings by Thomas Ruckel, which depict the Battle of North Point and the assembly of troops at Hampstead Hill. Also to be seen is the General William Winder's 1815 military topographical map of the Battle of North Point and the defense of Baltimore. The paintings and the map are accompanied by a number of outstanding hand-carved wooden models which represent both American and British soldiers. Through this exhibit, you'll gain a greater appreciation of the rich history that we have right here in the Patapsco Neck area. And now, with some additional acknowledgments and remarks, I'd love to introduce to you our wonderful president of the Historical Society. Let's welcome Miss Jean Walker.
Good evening, and I'd like to again welcome all of you to our Battle of North Point display. You know, the study of history is like trying to assemble a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle without the picture and without many of the parts, either missing or seeming not to fit. Compound this with the bias of the history books and their authors' interpretation of what the picture should be, and conventional wisdom and politics and even propaganda. So obviously, the study of history and its interpretation can be very subjective and can lead to some very interesting results. Which brings us to the Battle of North Point. On September 12, 1814, British forces landed at North Point and marched up the Patapsco Neck, where they were met by General John Stricker's 3rd Brigade, Maryland Militia. After 2 hours of battle, the Americans had lost 139 wounded and 24 killed. The British had lost 300 wounded and 46 killed, including their commander, General Robert Ross. Stricker re-established his line a mile back at Bread and Cheese Creek and waited for the British to continue, which they didn't. Several hours later, Stricker moved his troops back to the main line of defense at Hampstead Hill. The following morning, the 13th, the British land forces marched to Hampstead Hill and spent the rest of the day trying to find a point of attack, which they couldn't. Early the next day, they marched back down the Patapsco, and the following day, the 15th, they sailed away. That's the story of the land portion of the Battle of Baltimore, the parts of the jigsaw puzzle, the history of the units that fought, their uniforms, the geography, and roads of 1814 Patapsco Neck. The little details, that's what this exhibit is all about. The interpretation is left up to the viewer. At this time, I would like to thank our Museum Display Committee, who spent many hours planning and setting up the display. A special thanks to our chairman, Buzz Christ, who was there even after he had his operation. Part of our exhibit are our standalone road warriors, and we have 2 examples right here outside. They represent the British and American units who were present at the Battle of North Point. All of the units are not represented at this time, but will be part of a rotating display. The Asquith sharpshooters, who we have standing on my right, spent many hours researching and preparing this part of the exhibit. They cut out the men, they researched what their uniforms looked like, they found the information that would go on the display, then they painted them so that they look exactly like they should look like. They deserve a special thanks for all of their hard work. Thank you, and I will turn the mic back to Mike.
Thank you, Jean. Jean Walker, President here at the Dundalk Patapsco Neck Historical Society and Museum. Well, we've reached the very important occasion. At this time, Buzz Christ, portraying U.S. Attorney General William Pinckney, will now read the Declaration of War.
Opening. 3, set, up! Be it enacted that war be, and the same is hereby declared to exist between the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland and the dependencies thereof, and the United States of America and their territories. And that the President of the United States is hereby authorized to use the whole land and naval force of the United States to carry the same into effect, and to issue to private armed vessels of the United States commissions or letters of marque and general reprisal, in such form as he think proper, and under the seal of the United States, against the vessels, goods, and effects of the government of the said United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, and the subjects thereof. Huzzah! 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 James?
War is officially declared on this date 200 years ago. And now, for the ribbon cutting. Buzz, Chris, and Gene Walker. And there it is. Our Dundalk Patapsco Historical Society War of 1812 Battle of North Point exhibit is now officially open to the public. Be sure to go in and enjoy it. Enjoy these wonderful refreshments provided by our committee. Be sure to join the Dundalk Patapsco Historical Society a little later this summer, just several weeks from now, for the Dundalk Heritage Fair. You can visit our exhibit there. Look for our float in the annual Dundalk Heritage Independence Day Parade. That's on July 4th. The fair runs June 29th, 30th, and July 1st. And later this summer, our annual Defenders Day reenactment and program at Fort Howard Park. That's September 2nd, Labor Day weekend, and it's a great time for everyone, and you can learn so much more about the Battle of North Point. And in fact, the chairperson is sitting right here in the audience, Mr. Harry Young, and he'll be working diligently to bring the best Defenders Day program ever to the North Point and the Patapsco Neck area a little later this summer. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the exhibit, enjoy the refreshments, and have a good evening, everyone.